Hey, good night, good night, good night, or in my case, good night, but in your case, it might be good morning. Sorry you can't see my face this time, but you'll probably definitely hear my voice. So, today we want to begin to look at business models. So, I'm a real movie guy. I love watching movies. And for those of you who remember the movie Logan, and the movie Avengers. So with Logan, the picture was really centered on that one central character, just Logan and his journey of deterioration and losing his powers and of course eventually dying. That movie was about him and him alone. And then you have Avengers, where it was an ensemble of characters all playing the different roles. And why I bring that up is because many times we think about our business like Logan, where it's just simply about our product or our service. We don't give thought to anything else. But I want to say that that's wrong. There are a lot of other pieces involved in our business, and the business model helps us really understand all those other pieces that come together. So just watch this video for a little bit, and then we begin to talk about business models.
Some of today's most successful companies understand that the competitive game is increasingly playing out between superior business models, in addition to the traditional battle between new products, technologies, and services. Let's analyze the 4 levels of business model strategy. The first level is what we call a level 0 business model strategy. Companies that focus mainly on product, technology, and related services are at level 0. The best of them build great value propositions with a strong product market fit. The companies that compete mainly on better products and value propositions are often oblivious to the fact that they could outcompete others by combining their products with a better business model. Let's call this group the oblivious. Companies that just start to understand the importance of competing on business models usually perform level 1 business model strategies. They use the business model canvas to ask themselves which customers they're targeting, how they're reaching them, how they're acquiring them, how they're earning money from them, what resources, activities and partners they need to do that, and what's the cost structure. Organizations at this level understand that they need to look at the entire business model and its components, but they use the business model canvas more like a checklist. Let's call these companies the beginners, who understand that products and technology are not enough. They've taken their first step towards competing on business models. Companies that know how to build outstanding business models perform level 2 business model strategies. They know that it's not enough to just cover all the components of a business model. Companies competing at this level have business models with a story in which every single piece of the business model reinforces the others and contributes to the story. A great example is the Nintendo Wii. Beyond the introduction of an innovative product in the game console market, they built a business model with lower costs, more customers, and superior profit margins. They outcompeted their competitors on the business model. An older example is Dell, which disrupted an entire PC market with its business model. Another excellent example is Nespresso. At the center of their business model is a machine that makes single-portioned espresso. But what gets customers to pay 6 to 8 times more for coffee, outperforms their competitors, and produces insane profits is the configuration of their business model. These are true masters. But it gets even better. There are companies that compete on a level 3 business model strategy. They don't just compete on a superior business model, but they already think of new business models while they are successful. These organizations build new business models proactively before a crisis or an industry or technology change forces them to. Sometimes they even self-disrupt or cannibalize their existing business model while they're still successful. These companies are very, very hard to beat. They are practically unstoppable. Examples are Apple and Amazon. They continuously innovate their business model despite their success. These are companies you could call the invincible. You decide where you want to compete. Level 0 strategies focusing solely on great products and value propositions is like competing on training wheels. Level 3 strategies are more like a Ducati monster motorcycle. Guess which one outcompetes the other?
So yeah, so we're seeing that great companies can compete at different levels, and we're gonna take a little dive into this whole concept of business model. So the question is, yeah, what exactly is a business model? So I want you to listen to this little video here.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, a tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
Great. So that video gives you an idea of how to build a business model and what things are kind of contained in it. So let's look at an example and work it down, because I want to show you how you can build out your own business model and what things you need to look at in particular. So this is an example of the business model, and you will see there are 9 sections here, and every business, including yours, will have these very 9 sections, and it's important you understand what you would put in each section. What this does, it gives you a visual of your business. It's kind of, think of it like a 1-page business plan. So instead of writing out a business plan that has 40 to sometimes 120 pages, this lets you put down your idea in very simple format, so you can see if it makes sense. You can go and test it. You can share your idea with others. And the beauty about this is that you could actually modify this over time, because you would find out, what, I thought this about my customers, but you know what, I was wrong. So you make changes and you can change your business model. So it's a really flexible and powerful tool to use in getting your business off the ground. So we're going to use this today, and I'll give some examples of how you can use it for yourself. So you'll see these 9 segments here. On the far right, you see customer segments. Now this is basically speaking about who you are doing your business for, who you're trying to sell to. Now the biggest mistake you can make in a company is have the idea that you're trying to sell to every single person. No company on the face of the earth satisfies 100% people perfectly. Companies have to choose who they're going to target. You know what I mean? So some companies might target upper class, some might target middle income, some might target lower income, some might target, so a company might target, people who have hobbies. So if I'm into sports, for example, my store might target, people who love cricket, so I sell cricket gear. So I'm not selling radios, or I'm selling juices. I'm maybe targeting those who have diabetes. So I'm not selling juice with sugar in it. I'm focusing on people who are diabetic. So I'm focusing mainly on non-sugar stuff. So your customer segment specifies who exactly are you trying to, whose problem you're trying to solve, who are you trying to create value for? Because that's the whole idea with your business, right? It's not about doing something just to make money. It's about asking the question, who has a problem that I can solve? Who can I add value to? Whom can I make their life better by the thing I want to either do or sell or create? So that's your customer. In the middle, you see that gift, right? That is the value proposition. In other words, that's what you're putting together to sell to your customer. That's the solution you're bringing to their life. That's the product or service you want to bring. So, for example, I have a company and we focus on people who want to get into agriculture at the home level. So we know that our customer segment are homeowners. We're not looking at big farmers with big farms. We're looking at homeowners, people who want to start do small little farming at home. That's our customer segment, and we offer them value by giving them products and services that help them to grow food at home. So that can be, in terms of seminars we offer, grow boxes we offer. All these are things that we sell to them, that can help them achieve what they want to achieve. Again, we don't sell to big farms. That's not our customer. That's not our target audience. We're focusing our attention solely on the homeowners who want to grow food at home, and we build products and services to meet and satisfy those needs. So that's the customer segment and the value proposition. You can look here and see channels. So channels is basically how are you going to get your product into the hand of your customer, and how you're going to get information into the mind of your customer. So for example, let's look at the first one. How are you going to get your product into the hand? So that could be a case where you may have a store, and they come to your house. That's one way of doing it. Or you might have a product and you put it into stores or put it into gas stations. That's one way of getting it. You might set up a stall on the street. That's one channel. It may be something they can download online. That's another channel. So you got to think, how am I going to get my product or service into the hands of my customer? That's the channel consideration. But you're not only thinking about channels in terms of product or service, also information, right? So how are they going to find out what you do? So do you have an IG? Are you on Facebook? Are you on TikTok? Are you on Twitter? Are you going to go on the radio? Are you going to do flyers? Do you have a website? How are you going to get your product and service in the minds and in the eyes of your customers? That's what you have to consider in the channels. Now, you also see a part called customer relationship. And this basically talks about what kind of relationship does your customer want with you? Does it have to be very personal, or can it be just automated? So, for example, if I am selling fruit, for example, that can be a case where it can be very personal, where I have a vendor, and they go to the stall, they see a person, the person sells them the fruit, so there's a person to person contact that happens there, right? So it's a personal. Or it could be a little less personal, automated. For example, I may have a vending machine that that you can go and you can get stuff from, so there's no person there, but my products are there. You can put money in like a vending machine and get products out of it. That's less personal. Some of us have bought stuff online or on Amazon, for example, or whatever, and we probably would have never even spoken to a person. You just go online, you do you gotta do, you use your credit card, and boom, you buy something. So the relationship can vary from extremely personalized to very automated where there's no human involved. You gotta decide what type of relationship does my customer expect based upon the needs that they have. If you come down to the bottom of the canvas on the right hand side, you see revenue streams. And that's basically how you're gonna make money. You gotta think about the different ways you can make money. And let's go through a list because maybe we think about only the obvious ways, but there are so many ways that you can make money with your product or service. So let's start. So one is, of course, you can sell the product or service. That's the easy one. You got a chair, you can sell a chair, easy peasy. But you can also rent a chair. That's another way. So you can sell it or you can rent the chair for a time. But that's not the only thing you can do with it. You may also be a case where you might put a flyer on the back of the chair, and that's advertising. So people can pay you to advertise their business on the back of your chair. People may love the design of your chair, and you sell them the design of the chair. So this is where you begin to think about what are the different ways am I going to make money for a product or my service, and more often than not, there's always more than one way, as you always say, to skin a cat. Now, if you go to the left side of the business model canvas, this is where we call it kind of back of house. These are the things that the customer doesn't see but are important for you as the entrepreneur, the business person, to kind of know as well. So we have our key activities. Now, these are the things that you have to do in order to make your product or your service. The key resources are the things you have to have in order to make your product or your service. The key partners are the people or companies that you need to work with and partner with in order to give great value to your customers. And of course, cost structure. As I say, you got to spend money to make money. These are the things you got to spend money on in order to make your product or your service. So let's take a dive an example to see what it looks like in real life. So this example of a lemonade stand. And Kelly, lemonade stand, she is using the business model canvas to think through all the different aspects of her business. And this is what I want you to do with your business idea as well. So you see on the far right, she has customer segment. So she's targeting park visitors. So she's basically have a lemonade stand and she is trying to sell people in the park. So the park visitors are her customers. Now, if she wanted to get a bit more, she could also probably look at if there were staff in the park, like cleaners or guards. She may also want to consider park staff or maintenance as a customer segment. But of course, you always know that they will always have more visitors than staff in the park. So she's looking to maximize her money. So think about the biggest segment you can target for your business. So she is targeting park visitors. Now, if you go to the very middle of the canvas, you'll see what her value is, what she's offering to the park visitors. She's offering cold, tasty, natural lemonade on the go. Now, take note of how she describes this. She's not saying she sells drink or lemonade. No, she goes into describe all the value and the benefit that these get. So they get cold. That's a benefit. It's tasty. That's a benefit. It's natural. That's the benefit, and it's on the go. So her lemonade she's offering 4 different levels of value in her lemonade to the park visitors. So her belief is that because she has added this value in, that they're willing to spend money on her lemonade. Now, if you go to channels, this is just below relationships. She has 2 things. She has a booth sale and a website. So she's selling her lemonade at a booth. She's selling a booth in the park, and she's selling her lemonade there. And she also has a website. So if you want to know more about her, you can go to her website, kellylemonade.com, and there she's giving people information about her product, and she's selling the actual product at the booth. You see she's mentioning her relationships are personal because she has staff there, people who are selling the lemonade personally. It's not a robot, it's not by computer, it's not automated. There's some person there who's smiling, saying hi, who's probably squeezing the lemonade and making small talk and conversation while they're getting the lemonade together, all as a part of the experience for the lemonade buyer. All this goes into what they are paying for, the value of what they're paying for when they buy cold, tasty, natural lemonade on the go. You also notice that she also has some key activities. Now, these are the things she has to do in the business to actually create cold, tasty, natural lemonade on the go for her park visitors. So what she got to do? She has to make lemonade. That's obvious, right? But you got to make a note of it. You got to market it, and you got to actually sell it. These are the key activities she must do in order to deliver her value to her customers. But what are the key resources? Now, key resources are the things you have to have in order to make your value proposition. So she has three things here. She needs ingredients, which probably sugar and essence and that kind of stuff. I hope it's not during lockdown because she can't buy on the weekend. So she needs salespeople as well in order to sell this, and she needs a booth that she's stepping in the park, and equipment, probably, I don't know, blender or mixer and spoons and that kind of stuff. So these are the things that she needs to have in order to develop her cold, tasty, natural lemonade on the go. Now, if you look down on revenue streams, so how is she making her money? She's making her money two ways. Lemonade sales, which is actually selling the lemonade, but she also has a tip jar. So again, she's not just trying to get money one way. She's looking at what are the different ways I can use to create revenue for my business. So she's doing the regular expected sales of lemonade, but she's going a step beyond that and putting a tip jar. And you never know, those tip jars after a while can really add up. But what else do you think she can do to create more revenue? What do you think she can offer or to increase her lemonade, her sales at the business? I'll leave that to you to give me in the WhatsApp chat with Shelly afterwards. But let's go to the key partners. Now, municipalities are basically in the US the ones who are in charge of open spaces, like how we have the NCC here. They're in charge of all the parks and the beaches. The America has similar things, municipalities, and they're in charge of the parks. So she needs to partner with parks to get permission in order to go in the park. If she just goes in the park without going through the channels of the municipality, she might get kicked out if a guard comes and says, "You're not supposed to be here," and all her revenue she would have made for that day is gone because she can't be there. So she would have lost revenue because she didn't partner and do the right things. So partnering and having key partners is really important. Another partner she may consider having is linking it with a farmer who would give her lemonade at bulk cost. So instead of going to, say, a supermarket and buying it at retail price, she could have a partner with a farmer and make a deal with the farmer. You know what? I'll buy lemons from you every 2 weeks. So you have a sure sale, but you got to give me a discount on it. And of course, a farmer, would love sure money and would be willing to do a discount if they know they're getting a sure sale every 2 weeks. So partnering with others who can make your life easier and who can help you to deliver the value you're trying to give to your customers. In this case, it's cold, tasty, natural lemonade on the go. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see cost structure. So you have sales and commission, you have flyers, equipment, and ingredients. So these are the things that she has to spend money on in order to run the business. And if you look, these costs are coming from key activities and the key resources. So on this side of the canvas, your cost structure is really made up of the different elements that make up your key activities and your key resources. While you would know that it's important that the revenue streams are greater than cost structure. In other words, you need to be making more money than you're spending. Because if you're spending more money than you're earning, well, eventually the business will go bust. So your revenue streams has to be greater than your cost structure. And this is basically how the business canvas works and how you can use it to plot down your ideas. This is another one, um, a bit more complicated, but still gets the point. Sorry, gets a point across, because you may have, for example, more than one customer who wants to use your business. So many of you may know of Uber. Uber is a car company that kind of like does taxi work, but the people use their own cars. So it's not like a taxi company in the same way that we use it here. Uber just uses people's cars and people get money from it. So for Uber as a company, they have two customers they're going after: passengers, people who want to get from point A to point B, but also drivers, people who have cars that would like for their car to be used in the Uber service. So your business also may have more than one customer as well, and then you can just use different colors to make the connection. So, for example, passengers in customer segments, they want taxi on demand, they want cash free, they want things easy. That's what they want. But the drivers also want to make additional money. So the value prop is basically what you're promising your customers to do for them that will make their life easier, to make their life better, that will be take away either pains or give them some kind of gains or something that will benefit them. So this is what you want to do for your business. So what you want to do for me is I want you to you can go on Google and you can look for business model canvas, and you can then download that and begin to fill in those blocks with your business. Those are the things. So, and then you begin to get a visual idea of what your business looks like, and it helps you visually, see. So it helps you to answer some really important questions. For example, who are your customers? What is your product and your service? What's your pricing? What's your cost? Helps you to answer some really, really important questions, For example, it'll force you to really answer the question, what value are you trying to give to your customer? Because know this, right? People don't buy products, people buy value. So if I'm going to buy cologne, for example, or roll-on, I'm not really buying roll-on. I'm buying the freedom from smelling bad in public. I'm buying me not being embarrassed by smelling like a fish market. I'm buying that. I'm not really buying roll-on. I'm buying freedom from embarrassment. I'm buying a fresh scent. So you need to look at value not in terms of what you're offering, but value is really based on what the customer is getting from the product or service you're offering. And you need to communicate your value in those terms, not basically saying I sell juice, but I sell health, I sell wellness, I sell cold, tasty, natural lemonade on the go. You need to be able to say what the value is. So I want you to sketch out your own value proposition and send that to Shelly and let Shelly send it to me, and I'll give you my feedback on it. And you can use this tool to design any business idea you have. And when you try this and you go in the market and you test your ideas, you start the business, you realize, you know what? I thought that this channel worked, but let me change channels. And you learn as you go, and you modify the business, that you tweak it, that it works well, that you find your best arrangement. That's the best way to go about starting your business. Not thinking you have the right answer at the very beginning, but starting out with a best guess, trying it in the market, and making changes as customers talk to you, give you their feedback, give you their the information. You may have thought that the best days to sell this may be on Thursdays, but it turns out that Monday is a better day. Your sales are high on Monday, and you learn and you change and you modify and you grow. So guys, I want to thank you for coming with me on this journey. I wish you all the best. And again, I want you to sketch out your own business model and email those to Shelly or Experience Shelly, and I'll give you my feedback on them. Have a great day. Bye bye.